Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube NFL prediction segment, I'm going to be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 13 of the 2015 NFL season. Well, the first game I'm going to talk about is the Detroit Lions and Green Bay Packers. I'm going to take Green Bay on the road against Detroit. Green Bay hasn't been swept by Detroit since 1991. I don't anticipate it happening now. They're 20-4 in the last 24 contests against the Lions. I know the Lions seem vastly improved, and the Packers are kind of reeling. They're floundering a little bit right now. But I think when it all comes down to it, we're going to see the better team prevail. Detroit has won 3 straight. I understand they're rejuvenated under their new coaching staff and everything, and they are playing better. They'll probably make it a close game, but I still like Green Bay. I think they do have a little better personnel, and I'm going to take them to win on the road. The next game, I'm going to take the New York Jets on the road. Well, technically a road game. To beat the New York Giants. This is really a neutral site, though, of course, and there's really not, as most of you know, there's not really much of a home field advantage in this one. Now, Jets boast the number 1 rush defense in the NFL right now. They're only giving up a little over 84 yards per game on average. Wide receiver Brandon Marshall is one of the leaders in touchdown receptions. And you take him in their running game, and I see them winning this game because the Giants right now, they're number 32 in total defense. I think the Jets could have a field day against that Giants defense. The one thing that's in the Giants' favor, their third down conversion percentage, very good. They may be able to sustain some drives, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think the Giants, they lost last week to Washington. And I just don't know if they may go through a little tailspin at this point. I'm thinking they lost the week before to New England, a game that it looked like they had. So and they squandered a lead. I like the Jets. I think they're just a little bit better right now. And anyway, the next game, I'm going to take the Arizona Cardinals to defeat the St. Louis Rams. Arizona is going to be seeking retribution, of course, after that loss they had earlier this season at the hands of St. Louis, and that was at home. Arizona, number 1 ranked offense. As far as their total, number 1 in points per game, over 32 per game. Number 1 third down conversions. This is a team that's really they're very well balanced right now. It's a team obviously that could be a Super Bowl contender. St. Louis has lost their last 4 games. They are reeling right now, big time. They're averaging 16.9 points per game, which is number 31 in the league as far as scoring offense goes. It's very putrid, to say the least. They just aren't going to, I don't think they're going to put up enough points in this game to compete with Arizona. I like Arizona on the road. Next game, I'm going to take the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to win at home over the Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta has lost many consecutive games. I didn't get the exact number, but I know they are reeling right now, and they're not the team that flourished at the beginning of the season. And they have wide receiver Julio Jones, but do they really have much else now? The offense is struggling big time at the quarterback position. It's just, to me, Atlanta's woes just seem to keep continuing. And Tampa Bay at home, I love, as I've stated a number of times, not to be overly redundant, but the progression and evolution of quarterback Jameis Winston is very good. Having a solid season. The team is number 1 in forced fumbles, and I think they could get some turnovers against Atlanta, and I like them to win at home. Now, I'm going to take the Minnesota Vikings to win at home over the Seattle Seahawks. If you asked me this about a year ago, I would have said Seattle hands down. But right now, Minnesota is playing at a very high level. They have the number 1 running back in the league as far as yards go, 1,164 for Adrian Peterson. They've also, this is a team, and they're number 1 in rushing yards per game. And I think this is going to be about ball control and clock domination. Seattle, even I know they won last week against the Steelers, but their defense to me just doesn't seem to be like it was last season. It took Richard Sherman 12 weeks to get his first interception. This team is underachieving. They're going to be without Marshawn Lynch in this game. and they're going to be without Graham as well, one of the receivers. And I think you look at this, and to me, I just don't think Seattle has enough on their team, and they have to win this game, emerge victorious, and they got to do this on the road. Minnesota's played very well at home in recent time. I'm going to take the Vikings to win at home. Now, I'm going to take the Houston Texans to win on the road over the Buffalo Bills. Houston has been on a rampage. They've won 5 of their last 6. J.J. Watt leading the league in sacks. What else is new? Brian Hoyer is 14-9 as a starter, and they have DeAndre Hopkins, a phenomenal receiver, in this one. Buffalo's going in the opposite direction. They're 2-4 in their last 6 games. And Tyrod Taylor, I don't believe, is 100% in their quarterback. And I just think Houston has what it takes to win this game. I like them to win on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take Miami at home over the Baltimore Ravens. Quarterback Ryan Tannehill, he might not put up stupendous numbers, but he will be efficient. Wide receiver Jarvis Landry is probable. If he does play, he's very good, and he's kind of been a little under the radar, but 76 receptions. He's one of the better receivers in the NFL this season. Baltimore is still without quarterback Joe Flacco. They're without their running back Justin Forsett, and their roster is depleted. The team is decimated with injuries. I know they won against Cleveland last week. That was against Cleveland. Ravenous defense, I don't think gets it done. I'd like the Miami to win this one. Now, next game. I want to take the Cincinnati Bengals to win on the road over the Cleveland Browns. And speaking of retribution, Cincinnati, shouldn't say retribution. I want to just say that they want to get back. They're back on track right now, and they're the number 1 scoring defense in the league. Andy Dalton is really has shown to be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, and their tight end, I believe it's I don't know if it's the same name right, Tyler Eifert. He's really almost surreptitiously been under the radar and really having a great season. He's leading the NFL in touchdown receptions. And the Cleveland Browns, they couldn't beat the Baltimore Ravens last week at home with a depleted roster for the Ravens. I don't think they can beat Cincinnati in this one. And the team, they've been sacked 38 times, number 1 in the NFL. And that's not going to get done. They don't give their quarterback protection. This game will be over rather quickly, I think. And I like the Bengals to win on the road. The next game. Yeah, I know I said it last week, but I'm going to say it this week again. We'll try it this week. Tennessee Titans, I'm looking for them to break now their 11 consecutive home game losing streak. And tight end Delaney Walker is really one of the better tight ends. And speaking of being under the radar, because the Titans haven't had much success this season, they're not one of the upper echelon teams. He's not getting much notoriety or recognition, but they do have a very good weapon with him. The Titans also are number 4 in sacks in the NFL with 32. They could get some pressure put on quarterback Blake Bortles. They could win this one. Allen Robinson is averaging almost 16.9 yards per reception, so they got a home in on him in this game. And it's kind of funny that you look at this, the last home win for the Titans was against Jacksonville. So maybe we'll see deja vu all over again and see history repeat itself. I like the Titans to win at home. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Chicago Bears to beat the San Francisco 49ers. Don't be flabbergasted or in a state of shock, people. Chicago Bears number 2 in pass defense right now. Quarterback Jay Cutler is obviously, he might not be great, but he's good enough to get this job done in this game. The Bears are averaging 21 points at home, which I know is not a stupendous number, but they are playing San Francisco, and San Francisco is dead last in total offense. Navarro Bowman is number 2 in tackles. They'll probably be doing a lot of it in this game, so good for them that he's on their team. And I just don't see San Francisco being able to generate abundance of offense in this game. And I see Chicago, I like them to win at home. The next game, I'm going to take the Denver Broncos to win on the road over the San Diego Chargers. The Broncos, okay, they don't necessarily have to put up superlative numbers on offense and score a tremendous amount of points because their defense is very stingy and tenacious, to say the least. They're number one in total defense, number one pass defense, and number one in sacks in the league with 37. And San Diego, yeah, they got their little swagger back last week after defeating the Jacksonville Jaguars. But this team is obviously playing a much more formidable team with the Denver Broncos. And I see they put up a lot of passing yards in San Diego, but they just have trouble winning. And I like Denver to win this one on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs to win on the road over the Oakland Raiders. Kansas City has won 5 consecutive games. They've had 0 turnovers in those 5 wins, and they only have 4 interceptions on the whole season. And you look at them, and quarterback Alex Smith, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember the exact number, but I think it was well over 200 consecutive passes without an interception. So they play turnover free in this game, and they should win this. Oakland, I know they're at home, and I know they're improved this season, but they have not looked well in the last 4 weeks. They had lost 3 consecutive before. Last week they just barely beat the Titans in that one. And to me, they are just not. The Kansas City is playing much better right now, so I'm going to go with the Chiefs with the road victory. Now the next game, the infallible record with the Carolina Panthers, and I mean, they really, to me, I think I'm just going to stay with them until they actually lose. 15 consecutive regular season wins, 16 of the last 17 if you count the postseason and going back to last season. This team is really, to me, is a team really strongly to be reckoned with. Cam Newton, they talk about having the MVP season for him. I don't quite know if I would give him the MVP. The numbers do mean a little something, and to me, he's not quite there as far as the interception and TD ratio, and I just feel he's been invaluable to his team, but I don't know if he's the MVP, but he still is having a stellar season nonetheless. And you look at the Saints; they just can't stop anybody. They're number 32 in scoring defense, and they're not even generating points lately. They've scored 20 points in the last 2 games combined. So I don't know what's going on with their offense with Drew Brees and company, but you think that they could put up maybe some more closer to Sterling numbers on offense like they had done previously for earlier this season, but it's not happening now. And I think Carolina, I mean, these 2 teams are going in opposite directions, and I like Carolina to win on the road. Now, the next game, I'm going to take the New England Patriots to win at home over the Philadelphia Eagles. The New England Patriots are everything but invincible at home. They're 21-1 in the last 22 games at home. They also, I mean, quarterback Tom Brady, he's just like the ageless wonder. And after the Deflategate scandal, it's like they managed to just put any kind of controversy right behind them, and they just move forward like there's nothing happening. It's like this team is so disciplined. They block out anything extraneous, and they just keep winning this. Having this coach and quarterback combination obviously has done wonders, and I believe they will win this game. Philadelphia has been outscored 110-50 in the last 3 games. Quarterback Sam Bradford's questionable. I think for these reasons, and plus the fact that you're just simply playing one of the best teams in the NFL. Patriots, I predict them to win at home. Now the next game, I'm going to take the Pittsburgh Steelers at home to beat the Indianapolis Colts. Now Pittsburgh is number 4 in total offense right now. Antonio Brown, he has 431 yards after receptions, which is number 2 in the NFL, one of the best receivers in the league. Pittsburgh gets their ground game going in the offense with the receiving core that they have, which is good. I think they should take this one. Now, I know the one thing about the Steelers, I've noticed that their pass defense is number 28. So, Indianapolis, this could be a fairly high-scoring game. Indianapolis, if quarterback Matt Hasselbeck, I believe, is playing 4-0 right now with them, and the wide receiver T.Y. Hilton. This combination has been lethal and deadly. This game should be competitive. I like Pittsburgh mainly virtue on being at home, and and I predict them to win this one at home in a relatively close game. Now, the next game, last but not least, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to prevail in this one over the Dallas Cowboys. Washington is played exceptional at home this season. Quarterback Kirk Cousins is having a very good year right now. Obviously, most of you know they are technically, I guess they're in first place. They're tied with the Giants, I think, with the record, but I guess the tiebreaker goes right now to the Washington Redskins. Dallas Cowboys, I think last week we found out they were very overhyped. They weren't, I didn't see, they didn't play to me like a team that had like all this great urgency that they could win. They could actually feel that they could beat Carolina. It seemed to me like that they just maybe gone. They might have played a little under their potential. I know Tony Romo didn't play well, but now without Tony Romo, there's really no chance to beat Washington on the road. Cowboys, interestingly enough, they're number 32 in forced fumbles in the league, only one. So they gotta play a little bit more as far as aggressively on defense and try to cause some turnovers. They have a shot, but I just don't see it happening, and I like the Redskins to win at home. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube. I'm on the wrong channel. I'm on the football channel. I forgot momentarily. This will conclude this YouTube NFL prediction segment for 2015 Week 13 NFL predictions, and stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my picks and analysis for Week 14 of the 2015 NFL season. And until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.